Worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere.
You know, honey, I really wish you would treat me like this in public. You're so rude to me. You should treat me like a real boyfriend.
Good afternoon, Nick. My name is Professor Kukels, and today I'm here to teach you about why domestic violence is bad, because education is the only way to solve domestic violence problems in society. Now, what causes domestic violence? A cause may be low self-esteem. Now, why might we have low self-esteem? Because we have the need to control others. Another bad thing, because you do not own your spouse. You do not own your spouse. Another thing why you might feel inferior is because of socio-economic or education background.
Wow, I never knew that before.
Now say that you're not as rich as your wife or something like that, or your wife or spouse has a master's. Now that is, and you have a bachelor's degree or something. That is no reason for violence in society today. Lesson 2. What are the effects of domestic violence on society? Now, victims of DV may feel increased levels of fear and stress. Another thing that might happen to be if it's emotional abuse, it will be limited to these two. But if it's physical abuse as well, then you could include chronic fatigue. The last thing that happens across the board for all domestic violence victims is disassociation from the spouse or the rest of the world, you know? Because sometimes they might have that kind of blank look on their face. And that's bad. That's how you should know. You should report something if you see it happen first. Victims can be triggered easily. You flash back to bad times. And that's something you don't want to do. You always want to make sure that if you're with someone who's a victim, you want to make them feel as comfortable as possible and do not pry into their personal lives. Now, instead of resorting to physical abuse, what's another way that you think you can hash out your problems with your spouse?
I don't know.
Wrong. You can communicate. Now we're going to try a little exercise here. See, I'm going to be your spouse, and I'm going to tell you something about you that I don't like, and you have to effectively communicate to me your displeasure with that in a respectful way. Ready? Go. Honey, I really don't like your sweatshirt.
Okay, I'll take it off.
Good. Concession is a good way to solve problems. See, meeting a middle ground is a really important part of being in a relationship together. You have to bend to her wishes, just as she has to bend to yours sometimes. It's part of being committed to each other. I'm really proud of you, Nick.
Thanks. Oh, gee, Professor Kukels, where'd you get your PhD from?
My education is out of the question. Now, I would like you to go out into the world, go to MK, and use what you've learned here today.
Well, all right, let's redo that situation.
And not good when you don't pay my meals. It's kind of frustrating.
You know what? I didn't like that.
Thank you for using your words.
Then I find it kind